Pretty well. My wardrobe features some Carhartt. I can pretend that a creamy is not just soft serve ice cream. And I have somehow come to understand that in some special cases, you can't get there from here. But what has struck me about living in Vermont is, man, you take that being a neighbor thing seriously. Being a good neighbor still matters here. In my tradition, this neighbor thing is also taken quite seriously. Of all the human relationship dynamics that Jesus could have chosen to capture the heart of his message, he chose neighbor. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And think about that. Not your brother or sister, not your friend, but love thy neighbor. Why neighbor? Could it be that if we were guided to love our brother or sisters as ourselves, then anyone who's not related to us is not of our concern? And if friend, well, if we stop being friends, then perhaps the love and kindness flowing their direction can stop too. But neighbor? What qualifies someone to be a neighbor? If they are next to you. That's it. Love and kindness and grace should flow to them because they are simply there. There on the same dirt road, the same town, the same state, and there in the same country. You have a mutual stake in the quality of life around you because you are neighbors. Your quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness takes place adjacent to one another. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminds us that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. You've been sent here, I believe, not by constituents, not by an electorate, not by a voting base, but you've been sent here by your neighbors. The same underlying essence of walking next door and knocking on someone's door to borrow a cup of sugar, or in this case, however much maple syrup they're willing to part with. That same underlying essence is at work here. When you get that knock at the door and you're looking across at a neighbor in need, before letting them in, you don't ask who they voted for in the last election. You don't ask them where they stand on key policy differences. You don't ask them their documentation status. But when that neighbor comes over in need, you do whatever you can to help them. I just want to encourage you to remember it's the same noble calling here, friends. What state resources can be used to lighten the load of your neighbor? What choices can you make here to bring your neighbor in from out of the cold? When your fellow Vermonters, in the snowy blizzard of their lives, or in the dark and stormy nights of their lives, when they come knocking on these doors, on the doors of the people's house, what kind of neighbor will they find here?
Thank you. Members, we're going to recess for a moment to get the feed working. The House will stand at ease for a moment. You know, classic.